What are the worst Canadian foods? Are you thinking to visit Canada? Are you Canadian and you only drink Tim Hortons? Because today we're going to take a look at the worst Canadian foods besides Tim Hortons, because Tim Hortons is already the worst. So the way I'm going to structure this video is we're going to go from province to province, taking a look at different types of cuisines and things specific to that province. And then afterwards, we're going to take a look at general foods that you can find across Canada, taking a look at some of the good ones and, most importantly, the bad ones, because there is a lot of them. Canada is most famous for its poutine, which is a Quebec food consisting of fries, a special type of cheese, and gravy on top, which sounds pretty good at first, but it gets old very, very fast. Let's take a look at the worst Canadian foods, starting from the West Coast, British Columbia. Now, British Columbia is actually, I would consider, one of the best places for food, as it's got two things.
Seaweed, 50% sea, 50% weed.
At the ocean, so you've got tons of seafood options, and you've got tons of cannabis, so you've got stoners who love good food, as well as British Columbia has a large Asian community, the largest in Canada. So now you've got all of these Asian flavors, which I would consider the best in the world, in British Columbia, more specifically Vancouver. BC is the top tier for food in Canada. There are some not so good options, and I'm gonna throw it on the list and say the Nanaimo bar is very, very overrated. It is chocolate, coconut, and like a cream custard, which is good, but it's a intense amount of sugar, and you'll feel sick after eating one. You'll have to share that Nanaimo bar with like 3 people just to finish it. It's too much. It's too rich. Same thing with any type of like Canadian fudge. I feel like falls in this category as well. It's disgusting. I can't do it. Bottom tier. Worst Canadian food. But other than that, I would say British Columbia is up there for the best food. Alberta, home of the Cowboys.
You know what? You should never go shopping if your butthole is itching.
So for Alberta, it's hard to say there's a worst food in Alberta, but there's a lot of mid food. Edmonton is famous for this green onion cake, which it's all right. It's not bad. So we'll skip over Alberta for now. We'll come back if I think of something. But to be honest, a good thing about Alberta is the bison. Bison is another type of meat similar to beef, but it's a little bit thicker. And I think it's very, very good. Going up to the Yukon, there is Bannock. It's like a specialty bread, as well as smoked salmon. I can go for the salmon. That sounds amazing. But the specialty bread is a little bit overrated. But again, that is a minor on this list. Just wait till you see the ones down the road. Over to Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan's the breadbasket of Canada, so it's known for its wheat. And it's the second largest for beef. They also have like a famous Saskatoon berry, which is put into pies and pierogies. To be honest, there are much better pies. This is just a average pie. Going over to Manitoba, it's pretty similar to Saskatchewan. You've got some bread, some pierogies. It's whatever. Now to Ontario. Peameal bacon is a big one in Ontario, and I'm not about it. I'm probably gonna get hate for that. You can leave a comment. I'm totally prepared to fight you in the comments on peameal bacon is awful. Definitely up there for one of Canada's worst foods. Peameal bacon is just like regular bacon, except worse. It's got this yellow crusted fat on it. I don't know if you want to call it back bacon. It's disgusting. Look at this thing. Over to Quebec. Quebec has a lot of good food, a lot of good things going for it. A good poutine, a good Montreal meat sandwich. You've got the bagels. Quebec's a good culture place for food. It's got that European vibe to it, but I might butcher this. It's a French name. Oriel de Crissy? I don't know. Just take a look at this. It's a Quebec dish consisting of deep-fried salted fatback. Its name means ears of Christ, and it's generally served in the springtime, and it's salty and crunchy. Disgusting. Another thing from Quebec, sorry Quebec, you got 2 of them, is head cheese. It's like a spread that you put on a bagel or some. It just it doesn't. It's not appetizing at all. Definitely in the worst foods for Canada. So beside Quebec, we've got New Brunswick. New Brunswick has this vegetable that's poisonous, but they still eat it. I don't know what they're thinking. Anyway, so Tidehead, New Brunswick is the fiddlehead capital of the world, which this is a fiddlehead. It's kind of a asparagus looking vegetable, just much worse and also partially poisonous. No thank you. To Nova Scotia. We have the... You'd expect it to be seafood, as Nova Scotia should have like lobsters and stuff, and that's all good. But Nova Scotia has meat paste egg rolls. All right, PEI and Newfoundland and Labrador, I'm gonna put together. They both have similar food, and it is both disgusting. Raw seal, or flipper pie. A seal baked into a pie. Ugh, just take a look at that. That's disgusting. Who would ever want to eat something like that? I feel like any kind of seal I'm not about. I love seafood, not seal. And there was a Northwest Territories that I missed. To be honest, I don't know too much about their culture or food, so skipping them. Let's take a look at, in general, worst Canadian dishes. You can find this all across Canada. It doesn't matter where you are or where you're visiting. You can find these super gross items. Of course, Tim Hortons, disgusting, gross. Much better. Second on the list, across Canada, you can find Caesars. It's a alcoholic drink that is like just tomato juice and spices and a little bit of alcohol and what do they put in it? Celery? No, thank you. No, that's got to be one of the worst things about Canada's food or drinks. Going with the tomatoey flavor, ketchup chips. Oh, I probably just pissed off a bunch of people, but ketchup chips, not good at all. The worst flavor of chips. There's so many better options. Go for sweet chili heat. Go for Miss Vicky's jalapeno. Why would you choose ketchup? Come on, you're better than that. Another one I'm going to call out, not that they're particularly gross, but they're just... It doesn't fit right. So beaver tails are a famous Canadian dessert. Usually they're served in like a street vendor stall, but it's not street food. It's so messy to eat. It's like a fried piece of dough with chocolate and maybe bananas or some topping, and it just gets everywhere. It's sticky, it's gross. It's not what you want to be eating on the street. It's fattening, it's sugary. It's just not fun. But if you are looking for a good dessert, butter tarts are the way to go. All right, so wrapping up this video, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Have you tried some of these foods? Are you gonna fight me and say that Tim Hortons is better than Starbucks? Which province has the worst food? And which province would you say is the best food? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.